I guess Jake Paul is the king of pay-per-views then.
Dude, I guess so. Dylan Dennis, the
Dylan
KSI, 1.3 M's. That's what they sold allegedly.
They are the kings, bro. They are the kings.
I guess boxing is dead, dude. Because if that's true, boxing might be dead, man. Like 11,000 is atrocious, bro. Like,
That means all the
a few times that this actually happens, where like the opponent who lost like starts talking shit about the victor. It's so funny. Or it kind of reminded me of like when Amir Khan got knocked out by Canelo.
Oh, yeah.
And then Amir Khan's coach
Yeah.
started saying, he got the mic and he started going, we took a step up. It's time for Canelo to take a step up and fight Golovkin. I was like, damn, this is crazy.
In fact, I'm willing to make this, to make this prediction. I think Navarrete wipes out the entire division by stopping every single champion. He's a man who's a problem to anyone. No one can replicate his style. His awkwardness. You could, critique it as much as you want, but
It works.
It works. It's got him to this level of a world elite fighter. And he's world champion in not only one, not even two, but 3 different divisions. That's remarkable to say. So
Yeah, the only criticism that I can see is possibly maybe working on his on calling out like his opponents and stuff like
swear.
that. Yeah, because
Stop being humble.
yeah,
man.
he's being a little bit too humble, which we appreciate. But sometimes you just gotta talk your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The fans like a little bit of personality.
A little bit of personality, a little bit of a drama, if you want to call it like that. They call you Danger for a reason, bro. You gotta let everyone know. And I think
welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Last Round Boxing Podcast. You got me, Pablo.
You got me, Rudo.
Got me, Asael.
And let's talk boxing. So let's get right into it. We had a couple, I think 2 boxing events this past weekend. First one was over in the UK, I believe, between
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada. But we had the UK champion, Joe Cordina. Is he UK? He's UK, yeah. The UK champion, Joe Cordina, against Vazquez, right?
Vazquez.
Yeah. Close fight, This was for Cordina's title belt over at a super featherweight. And a lot of controversy coming out of this one, People didn't think Cordina performed the way that he was supposed to perform against Vazquez, and it ended up as a majority decision win for him. What are your guys' thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, like you said, a lot of controversy, man. This is and it's kind of interesting that Vazquez, this isn't his first time being in a controversial decision that doesn't go his way. Notably, he fought Raymond Ford, and once again, they gave Raymond Ford the decision. Highly controversial. A lot of people thought that Vazquez won, and then boom, once again, he gets another close decision that doesn't go his direction. Kind of unlucky, But yeah, very close fight. A lot of people were expecting Cordina to, show out. He had that very highlight reel KO where he completely knocked out a tough Asian fighter.
Ioka, was it?
Yeah, Ioka, something like that. Knocked him out completely cold. It was insane. So I'd say there was a decent amount of hype on Cordina. He's a champion as well. But he didn't really perform. From what I saw, I saw kind of the second half of the fight. He just, nothing really remarkable to me. He seems like a very average fighter, man. Like it seems he does enough to win, but he doesn't do enough to show us that he has something special or remarkable about him.
Yeah, and we were watching it, and yeah, I started watching it since like the 4th round, 5th round, stuff like that, and yeah, it was pretty close fight. The unofficial scorecard, Tony Bellew, he had it after the 6th round. It was a draw, after the 6th round, and yeah, it was still back and forth. Like what you said before, I didn't see anything that kind of stood out for me from Cordina. I have known Cordina for a while now. Before he even knocked out the Asian dude. I had no idea that he could, or even had that type of power in him. And after that, I really thought there was gonna be like something like, I was like, I've been sleeping on him or whatever. And no, this fight against Vazquez showed me he's just a regular dude. Really, I didn't see anything special.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I believe he underperformed. I think that's the right word. I mean, a lot of the boxing community right now is going at him a little bit because, you know, a controversial decision. Like, you know how they are always with controversial decisions, majority decision. This is an Eddie Hearn fighter, you know, and they,
Another one.
They actually interviewed Eddie Hearn, and he was trying his best, man. Those Canadians were asking him. He's like, well, you know, this is a close fight. What do you think of it? He's like, yeah, it's a close fight. You know, sometimes it's just a majority draw to one fighter. I think Joe Cordina won. You know, and and I was like, of course you do, Eddie.
Yeah.
Of course you do. But
Do you think he won?
I don't know. Listen, it's hard to say. Like those last couple rounds were as close as ever, man. Like you said, even in the unofficial, Tony Bellew going into the 12th round, he had it a draw.
A draw, yeah.
Yeah. So it was still dead even going into the final round. What I like is the judging reflected that it was a close fight. They reflected a majority decision, which means, you know, very highly contested. So, did he do enough? Maybe. I don't know. They were saying that he did his best work in the early parts of the fight against Vazquez, but Vazquez kind of came on later end. So, yeah, Vazquez, he seemed like a tough and rugged Mexican, like a typical, you know, he puts some pressure on you with the high shell or high guard.
Yeah.
You know, and he just put some pressure on you, throw some punches, but nothing remarkable again. So my main thing is just he didn't like show me anything that would signal to me that he is an elite level.
Yeah, nothing really stood out. Like the speed, no power as well. Going back to that KO reel that Matchroom and the Zone like to continuously put before he fights. It was nothing of that nature. He couldn't even put a stop to Vazquez's aggression coming forward, really. And then there was multiple rounds where he just kind of had to maybe take a step back a little bit, box a lot more, be a lot more elusive while Vazquez, try to go in looking for an opening and stuff like that. Yeah, there was nothing that stood out for me. And I guess let's just go to the end when the ring announcer was interviewing Vazquez. He had some important words to say to Cordina, saying that he does not believe that he's going to remain champion for much longer.
Yeah, he completely. This might be this is one of the few times that this actually happens, where the opponent who lost starts talking shit about the victor. It's so funny. Another notable time, I think, or it kind of reminded me of when Amir Khan got knocked out by Canelo.
Oh yeah.
And then Amir Khan's coach started saying, he got the mic and he started going, we took a step up. It's time for Canelo to take a step up and fight Golovkin. I was like, damn, this is crazy. It kind of gave me those type of vibes because Vazquez, like you said, first of all was angry, but he took it like a champ. He's like, hey man, this is the second time that it's happened to me that the decision doesn't go my way in such a close fight. It is what it is. But he said, this guy does not hit hard. All the other champions at 130, Navarrete, Foster, will just go through this guy easy. Yeah. And I was like, wow, that's crazy to say, Do
you think he's being a sore loser?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he took the loss like a champ. He said, the typical, this is all God's plan. This is all, everything happens for a reason. So just keep on learning and getting better. But I mean, that part, not necessarily a sore loser, just the fact that this guy is nothing.
Yeah.
This guy is, and honestly, I think so too. Joe Cordina will get eaten up by the other 130-pound champions, especially guys like Navarrete and Foster. I think Navarrete, in fact, will stop him.
Yeah, I think so too. Just the aggression from Vazquez isn't nowhere compared to Navarrete's level of aggression. Not only that, but the amount of punches that he throws is a lot more than what Vazquez was throwing in his fight against Cordina. So with that being said, he also has tremendous amount of power. Those punches come from all directions, everywhere, even from awkward angles and stuff like that. He switches from lefty to righty. Yeah, it'd be very hard for Cordina to stop someone like that.
Yeah, like we were just talking about, we didn't see anything remarkable from Cordina. There's multiple things that are remarkable from Navarrete. His angles is completely unique. His angles, his punching power, his punch selection, his cardio. He is a fighter that is a problem. You know, he's a fighter you can't just overlook. Whereas Cordina, I think he has a lot of holes, especially in this fight. It showed his defense really isn't the greatest. You know, there was a lot of moments where he just had his chin exposed, trying to throw some punches, and you know, with the power puncher like Navarrete, I think it'd be a problem.
Yeah, like you said, I agree with you that I believe Navarrete would stop Cordina if they were to ever fight. In fact, I'm willing to make this to make this prediction. I think Navarrete wipes out the entire division by stopping every single champion. I believe he stops every single champion and he runs through the entire division. Like you said, he's a man who's a problem to anyone. You know, no one can replicate his style. You know, his awkwardness. You know, you could critique it as much as you want, but
it works.
It works. It got him to this level of a world elite fighter. And he's world champion in not only one, not even two, but three different divisions. That's remarkable to say. So I firmly believe Navarrete wipes out the entire 130 division, and he could probably do major damage at 135.
Probably. So, in light of that, let's go into the 130 division, right?
Yeah.
So the champions. We have Cordina,
Yes.
who just fought a very unremarkable victory. What I'd say is maybe the weakest champion.
The IBF.
You know, IBF. Then we have Foster,
WBC.
who just came off of a victory against Rocky Hernandez.
Rocky Hernandez last week, yeah.
Rocky Hernandez last week, a big victory. A lot of people were saying he was losing. A lot of people were saying he was losing, and I think the scorecards also reflect that.
They reflect that, yes, they
He was
did.
down. He would have lost, but his power came through in the last round, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So he just received a very spectacular victory. Next we have Navarrete. I
Yes.
think the man.
The WBO.
WBO just came off of a victory against Valdez, and
Yeah.
he is fighting Conceicao
Yeah.
next week
or
In
2
2
weeks, yeah,
weeks.
later this month.
in the Shakur Stevenson undercard.
Yes.
So that's a big fight, I think. Conceicao definitely comes to bring it, so I'll be interested to see, how that plays out for Navarrete. And lastly, I believe we have Hector Luis Garcia,
Yes, the WBA champ.
WBA champ, who is also scheduled to fight in the Andrade versus Benavides undercard
Yeah.
against I don't remember who.
Yeah, I don't remember who his opponent was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. It doesn't. It escapes my mind at this time. But he is a champion. He's coming off of a defeat against Tank Davis.
Yeah.
So we have these fighters, and from what these are some high elite fighters, I believe. I think Navarrete especially. I think you're right. He rules the 130. I believe he can definitely beat all these champions. And I think he should, honestly. That'd be a great accomplishment. 3-division world champion, and then he unifies in the heaviest division that he's ever been in.
I think he gets undisputed.
Yeah, or undisputed. That's what
Undisputed,
I meant.
yeah. He can easily unify if he fights another champ, which I believe he will try to do after if he's able to get past Conceicao. But yeah, there's a lot of because I'm just saying Navarrete, his last performance against Valdez, it was
great.
It was great. It was easily his best performance I've seen from him in a very long time, especially at that weight against the type of fighter who he was up against. Because Valdez is there to bring it.
This is no joke.
Yeah, he's your typical Mexican warrior who goes in to just throw bombs and just try to get you out of there. He has a good hook. People were predicting it to be another Berchelt fight, for Valdez, and I'm glad to say that it was nowhere near that level because Navarrete just put a beating on Oscar, and it's very rare to see Oscar lose that type of way, especially how he looked after the fight, the bulge, the big eye. We thought he broke his orbital bone. But, yeah, like you said, a lot of big champions at 130, a lot of big fights that could be made. It's a little, I guess people tend to overlook the 130 division based on it. They're not, too big of a names in that division compared to maybe 126 or 135 especially.
Yeah, I think it's because it's so close to 135.
It's like right in the middle.
It kind of gets overlooked.
Yeah, but like 130, it's really underrated. We just saw, like you said, Foster and Rocky Hernandez put on
a great fight.
Probably one of the best fights of the year, especially that round of the year. That round 11 was insane. Wow. Yeah. And then, we have Navarrete coming up. He's already fought twice this year. at that 130 pound limit. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for these fighters to make these fights happen, especially unify the division and start maybe trying to see another undisputed champion be crowned at 130.
Yeah, definitely, Luis. I think the most the title could change because Hector Luis. We don't know how he's gonna come off of that defeat. So he is scheduled to fight. We don't know how he's gonna come off. Maybe
his vision might still be a little bit blurred.
Yeah, exactly. He might not. Tank Davis still hit him hard. Couldn't see. So
that was crazy. He went to the corner and was like, "I can't see. No puedo ver. No puedo ver."
So interesting time for 130. I think Cordina, if he wants to unify, he definitely has. I think the other champions would be more than happy to unify.
How do you guys rank the 130 champs? For me, this is how I rank them. It just kind of depends on how Navarrete looks against Conceicao. But I would have Navarrete, Foster, Garcia, and then Cordina.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I think I'd have Navarrete first, number one. He is the best fighter, I believe, at 130. Then Foster, because Foster also beat
Ray Vargas.
Ray Vargas, that's another guy.
Ray Vargas is a solid guy.
Very
Ray
solid.
Vargas,
He did go up though.
Yeah, he did go up because Ray Vargas fights at 26.
126. He's the tallest 126 pounder I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to me. I don't know how he makes that weight, but we got Foster, and I think Foster is a tough champion, and he showed he has grit to the final bell. So I believe he's a problem as well, Foster.
Oh, and apparently he was trying to make the fight between him and Cordina, and that never came to fruition.
Really?
Yeah, he said some tweets and stuff like that, saying that it never happened, but he wanted it.
I'm sure he would. I would want it, honestly, after that performance. And then Garcia, Garcia and Cordina, I'll put them on the same boat. I'll put them on the same boat because we just have to wait and see for Garcia. But he did have his notable victory
with Colbert, right?
Against Colbert.
Yeah, that was a really good performance.
It was definitely a solid victory. So, and then those two you can fight over their spots.
Yeah, I agree with that. For me, it would have been that same order, and the same bottom two would be contested. You contest between both of them. But so like I mentioned already before, a lot of these fighters, these champions could unify the division, and we could see maybe some unification for next year, and maybe even some big fights for at this weight class.
Yeah. I guess predictions. I guess for the Navarrete fight and the Garcia fight. How do you guys see that coming?
In the Garcia fight?
Yeah, Hector Luis Garcia.
Navarrete against Conceicao.
Yeah.
I believe Navarrete should win. Conceicao, but you can't overlook that Brazilian. Especially Brazilian fighters are tough, and this Brazilian in particular is tough.
But he's tricky as well too.
Tricky. Yeah. He is tricky. Like he's not a joke. He definitely put a beating on Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, he got robbed.
Yeah, he got robbed. He put a beating on that boy. He was doing extremely well with a lot of combination punching that Oscar Valdez just could not time, and he was just working on him. It was crazy to see. So Conceicao definitely is a problem. Navarrete though, coming off of his fight against Valdez and how well he looked, because going into that fight there was a lot of questions about him. Especially after he won against Wilson, but he got dropped.
He did get dropped.
He got dropped for the first time ever. At 130. New division, and he just got dropped. There's a lot of questions. But I think he put them to bed after his victory over Valdez. Now he's going against Conceicao, another tough opponent. I think it's great for Navarrete, a good experience. And then after this fight, I believe he should get the victory. After this fight, I think it's a unification time.
Yeah, I think he stops Conceicao. I think he's gonna stop him. I believe Conceicao has fought, I think, once or twice after the Shakur Stevenson loss. But, I mean, that Shakur Stevenson loss was big. Like, he got completely outboxed the entire fight. Did he get dropped? I'm not sure if he got dropped or not. Regardless, he got his ass whooped against Shakur. But, like, you're always going to look bad against Shakur. That's the thing. So, you can't give him too much of, you can't critique him too much for that. Yeah, I still feel that because I feel that Navarrete and Shakur are somewhat going to a colliding force because that's a fight that some people are asking for because of the style that Navarrete brings. So they both have already fought a couple mutual opponents. The latest one being the Oscar Valdez, and now this one coming up being Conceicao. So based on how Navarrete looks against Conceicao, we're gonna maybe see a clear indication of how a fight against Shakur would look like. But for my honest prediction for the Conceicao and Navarrete fight, I think Navarrete stops him. Late stoppage, in my opinion. He's gonna break him down. Too much volume, too awkward, and just too much power.
Interesting.
Man, I want to give it to Navarrete, but I'm not sure. Look, styles make fights, you know what I'm saying? Valdez does not have the best boxing abilities and stuff like that. If you compare him to Shakur, Conceicao, I would even put Wilson. Wilson, who's not even, I would say, an elite, but he does have some basic, pretty good fundamentals of boxing, which I think was what catapulted him to drop Valdez, Navarrete, expose some of those weaknesses that he has and stuff like that. So it's just gonna be interesting to see. You know, Conceicao has really good footwork. So if he's able to be mostly on moving around on his legs and stuff like that, he could give Navarrete problems if Valdez isn't able to cut the ring. But we'll just have to see how that goes. But I'm gonna say Valdez decision,
Navarrete.
but Navarrete decision.
Decision, okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a decision as well. I think Navarrete. I just think Conceicao isn't gonna get like knocked out. I just think he's tough. He's a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And he took that beating from Shakur like a man. You know, he didn't back out. He was trying still, throwing punches, and he just kept on missing because Shakur is just a master boxer.
But Shakur also doesn't hit hard.
No, he doesn't hit hard.
Yeah.
But I regardless, I still believe Conceicao won't get knocked out. I don't believe so, or I don't think he'll get stopped either. In regards to the Garcia fight, I was just looking right now who he's gonna fight, who he's scheduled to fight. It's a guy named Lamont Roach.
Oh yeah.
He has 23 fights, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 9 KOs.
Yeah, Garcia should knock him out, I think.
He doesn't seem like a power puncher. At least his record doesn't reflect it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think this is a step up for, not a step up, but also like a comeback type of fight for Garcia, especially coming from that devastating knockout, loss or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not too familiar with Lamont Roach, but, you know, yeah, I'm actually not too familiar with him.
We'll see how he does against Garcia. So so we got at least those 2 fights at 130 coming up, especially this month. So it's pretty nice to see these 2 champions getting some work in before the end of the year. Especially if you're like a Showtime fighter, you know, Showtime's going out of business, so might as well try to get your money up. But moving on from this, we had another boxing show this past weekend. Top Rank hosted one over in Lake Tahoe, and one of the stars of the night was 135-pounder prospect Raymond Muratalla, who came out with a very good, very incredible performance this past weekend against a tough Mexican fighter who was also undefeated, I believe. Mm-hmm. He's Muratalla. I saw a lot of new things from him that, you know, because we've been watching him for a bit. You know, he's been a prospect. He's been growing. He's been on these top rank cards for a while now. But I think this is the first fight where I saw some new things being implemented into his game, and he pulled it off really well. He looked really impressive. Great decision win, or not stoppage win, even though the stoppage was a bit premature. Really bad stoppage. These referees have to be doing a better job with that. Regardless, I do believe he was still going to stop him. But overall, he put up one of the best performances I've seen from him in a very long time. So what were your guys' thoughts about that?
Yeah, definitely. Raymond Muratalla, I think he is ready to step up. You know, he's been calling out for it, and he did it once again. He called out for Devin Haney, who is holding 3 of the belts at 135. I think Raymond Muratalla, it's time for him to step up. He has been in this space for a while now, you know, doing his thing. And after last weekend's performance, you know, I think he's ready. You know, he showed great range management. I think that was what impressed me the most. Just his ability to read the range against this tough Mexican, Diego Torres.
Yeah.
It was, you know, Diego Torres came to fight. You know, Diego Torres was there to fight, but you could tell he was just one dimensional, and you could tell it was a clear difference in boxing IQ. Raymond Muratalla was doing whatever he wanted to him, darting in and out of distance. His footwork was amazing, and once again, his power just showed again. You know, this guy hits hard. You know, you don't want to just let him land punches on you. He hits hard. I think after this performance, he is ready to step up.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell how a boxer's career is going to go, or how good a boxer could potentially be, just depending on once the level of opposition that he's facing is higher up, and that boxer is able to like step up to the plate. And that's exactly what he did last night. You know what I'm saying? Raymond has been on these top ranked cards for a very long time, and I wouldn't say in the shadows, but kind of in the shadows. I don't know if this is his first co-main event fight that he's been on, but yeah, he's been mostly just kind of like somewhat his fights have been one of the first ones on the card and stuff like that. And you know, he's done what he's got to do, you know, knocking these guys out and stuff like that. But this time, like, he showed much more than that. Apart from getting the stoppage, he looked really smart. He almost didn't get hit at all. He showed tremendous ring IQ. You saw another level of what Raymond can bring to the table against these other 135 pounders. So yeah, I'm interested to see you know, what happens next. Hopefully next year we can see a potential title fight for him and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say he's definitely ready. You know, there's no need to wait now. I would say this would probably be the best time to go and fight for a belt.
Yeah, I mean, the 135 is competitive, man. That's the one thing, you know. He's a tough fighter. He's a great fighter. It's competitive, though, you know.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
It's very hard.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, because you know, he called out Devin Haney, and social media, you know, when people call out certain fighters, the certain fan base for that, you know, fighter comes out and starts, you know, yippee yapping, you know, and talking all that. They're just essentially saying how he's not ready for Devin Haney, based off the fact that he has fought nobody. And I guess it's true to a certain point. You know, he has if you look at his resume and paper, he hasn't really fought any notable fighters in his resume, which is fine. He's still a prospect. Overall, you know, at the end of the day, he's still a prospect. He's just trying to look for that title fight. Personally, for me, if I were to pick an opponent for him, I'd probably choose someone like Frank Martin or even Pitbull.
Frank Martin. You know who I choose? Kambosos, bro. Ex undisputed.
Yes.
Good name on your record and beatable.
Also, being on the same boxing promotion as well, that fight can definitely come into fruition.
Absolutely, yeah. Kambosos, you know, yeah, he was undisputed, so he has a name. But you know, let's be honest here. He isn't the most elite at 135. You know, so I think it's a completely beatable opponent for Muratalla, and it'd give him some recognition because a lot of people are saying, hey, you haven't fought anybody, you haven't done anything at 135, you can't get a world title. It's like, well, what if I beat the ex-undisputed Kambosos in devastating fashion? Now you're gonna have to take me serious.
Yeah, I kind of hate. I guess let me ask you this, guys. Do you guys think he would? And this is interesting because Mark Kriegel and Tim Bradley, who were commentating on the fight yesterday, they were arguing between who would win between him, Raymond, and Keyshawn Davis, who is another prospect with Top Rank. How do you guys see that going?
Definitely Raymond Muratalla.
Easily.
I mean, he just has much more experience in the ring. You know, Keyshawn Davis, yes, he's a very hot prospect at the moment. You know, he has a lot of hype around him because he was a silver medalist in the Olympics. He comes into professional boxing and he's doing well. You know, he's knocking out who Top Rank is putting in front of him, which is what you want to see. He definitely has skills. No one's denying that. But, I mean, Muratalla is, you know, I don't want to say he's a veteran because he's not a veteran, but compared to Keyshawn, he might as well be a veteran. He has like double his fights.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. So, you know, Muratalla definitely has a lot more experience. And I think he showed that he has levels to his game. His ring IQ is completely underrated and isn't talked about enough.
Yeah, like he's still learning. He's still learning and acquiring new skill set, and he's still young. So that learning process, you know, it's going high up. You know, it's at an upward scale.
Exponential growth.
Yeah, exactly. So I would agree with what Tim Bradley was saying that Muratalla would beat Keyshawn Davis.
And I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised he said that because he is a big advocate for Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, huge advocate. Yeah, he's always talking big about him. So
but Bradley kept it real.
He kept it real. Yeah. So so Muratalla has, in my opinion, a big future at 135. If he keeps maintaining this pace, keeps learning. And hopefully his next fight, which would be, sometime, hopefully at the beginnings of next year, it's against someone who's a step up, a somewhat big name fighter that could catapult him towards the conversation of big names at 135.
Yeah, another thing I like about him is that he's active a lot.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before, we see him a lot on top ranked cards. And that's a good sign. That means, he's staying in the gym year round. He's getting a lot of experience because he's getting a lot of fights within a year. And he's also, performing in Top Rank, which is a very big organization, very big promotion, you know what I'm saying? A lot of fans in there. He's able to grow his fan base. Like, that's a great sign from him. And I think if he's smart, he should continue going down a very active route, a very active path where he's getting a lot of fights.
Yeah, the only criticism that I can see is possibly maybe working on his on calling out like his opponents and stuff like that. Yeah, because
stop being humble.
Yeah, he's being a little bit too humble, which we appreciate. But sometimes you just gotta talk your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
The fans like a little bit of personality.
A little bit of personality, a little bit of a drama, if you want to call it like that. They call you Danger for a reason, bro. You gotta let everyone know, and I think a lot more people know of him now that Mark kind of like pressed him on it a little bit. He's like, yeah, but like, who exactly do you want to fight?
If you had it your way, who would you fight? And then he finally said Devin Haney.
Yeah, although we might never see Devin Haney at 135 ever again.
Unless it's maybe like a Davis, but I don't think he's going to come down from Muratalla.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. So, yeah, other than that, I feel like for right now, just continue to ride that wave, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot more eyes on you and continue to expand on that.
Yeah, the thing is because I touched about this a little bit before, but I want to bring it up again. 135 is so competitive, man. Yeah. Like, we have Shakur Stevenson, who probably at the moment is the most elite at 135. I can't...
With only having one fight.
Yeah, with only having one fight. Shakur Stevenson, his skill is unmatched. And then we got, is Davis still 135? Is he going to 140?
Who knows?
Who knows, man?
He's dancing between those two, you know what I'm saying? He's not committing to either or. So he's in the air, I guess, still. Davis. We still got, Lomachenko. Who do we have? Frank Martin.
Ryan
Garcia.
Ryan's at 140 now.
140 now. Yeah, Cambosa's, maybe if you want to throw him in the mix.
No, you can. Yeah.
Pitbull.
Like, it's a competitive division, man. So Muratalla definitely has to keep his focus narrow and keep being in the gym because it's not no easy feat if you want to be a world champion at 135.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so big future from Muratalla. Hopefully we see more of him next year against top level names. But now switching over a little bit from the fights that happened for the Fury and Ngannou. Y'all hear about the pay-per-view buyouts for that fight?
There's a lot of rumors going around.
I'm not sure how credible they are.
Listen, yeah, I don't know how credible they are.
Some of the more credible accounts on Twitter that be talking about this haven't really talked about it much, so it's you can take it as much you can
with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I guess so. So Rudo's pulling up the numbers here.
Yeah, so apparently there was 11,500 US buys and just 56,000 on ESPN. So that's really nothing compared to the amount of money that the Saudi Arabia put up. Yeah, they did not gain their investment back. Those are very, very low numbers considering that this was supposed to be for the baddest man on the planet title. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it definitely did not live up to the expectation or the numbers.
Okay, yeah, those numbers, first of all, are absolutely atrocious.
Completely horrible.
I mean, imagine, because there was reports saying how much Fury was going to make. He's going to make around like 40 mil, I believe, from the fight. If he's making 40 mil and this is what they generated from pay-per-view buy, that's bad. Mm-hmm. That is very bad. No, they lost a lot of money if that's the case.
Yeah, so those are the rumored ones going around. But I don't know if I necessarily believe them.
Because that, like we're saying, might be unheard of how low this is.
For especially a big name
For a
like
big
Tyson
name.
Fury, and I guess Francis Ngannou
Francis
too.
Ngannou also has a big name.
All right, okay. Let me ask you guys this question. These were the numbers for the fight, right? Let's say they had a rematch. Do you guys expect the numbers to be way higher up based on how this first fight went, or do you guys expect the numbers to, thread below, maybe let's say below like 200K pay-per-view buys?
Well, I mean, I'd have to know how much they actually generated.
Yeah, I gotta know if these are the exact figures because this is weird, bro.
I'm literally not taking that because that's so crazy to me. 11,500. 11,000
for US cable buys.
That's nothing for a guy like Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou.
Not even 100K, bro. There's guys with no names, with no fan bases that
have more.
They get more.
Yeah.
There's this guy I saw on social media because they posted this and people were commenting and replying to it. I saw someone say how Stream East had like 5 million concurrent viewers during the fight.
Yeah, I saw that too. A lot of, because obviously pirating streams is very big at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been.
It's always been big, but I think recently as well, especially, guys like Dana White, low to the UFC, they've been talking about it a lot more and trying to crack down on it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure obviously there's a lot more people that were even if these figures are false, let's say, and then the real figure comes out and it's like, I don't know, 500,000. That really doesn't take into account how many people actually were watching it on an illegal stream, pirating that stuff. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to me, dude. 11,000 is nothing.
Damn, I guess the biggest losers for that night were the Saudi Arabia people.
They lost millions.
They lost millions because they did so much promotion. Like they flew out all these other ex-champions or current champions to the fight, to the venue. Not only that, but the celebrities as well. You got Kanye West,
Cristiano Ronaldo,
and a couple other more. Like that costs money. They're expecting a huge return, and this is not at all what they expected. This is not what I expected at all, really.
Yeah, but I mean, do you believe it? I don't believe it.
I don't believe it, bro. This is too much. Like,
yeah, I don't believe it.
They both have quite a bit of fan bases. One, boxing. Tyson Fury, he's the king of the heavyweights. He a number of eyes on him. Francis Ngannou making that switch from UFC to PFL. That's just, he's got the MMA community as well. Two big communities coming together to see who is the baddest man on the planet. And this is what we're presented with? This is weird.
Yeah. Even I saw a post about this on X. Someone was saying this fight didn't even get the amount of pay-per-view buys that the worst UFC fight got. And the worst UFC was two, I don't remember which fight, it was two women, right? They got like 54,000. You're telling me they sold less than them? I don't believe it, man. Like, come on, I don't believe it. It can't be true. So I'm gonna wait for my boy Mike Coppinger to weigh in, and if he tells me it's that, then I'll believe it. But until he says something,
But I guess these are only the USA pay-per-view buys.
Yeah, it both, doesn't it?
It says USA cable and then just ESPN Plus streams. Could it also? Are they not taking into consideration like the UK pay-per-view buys?
Yeah, I mean definitely in the U. But with that, wouldn't they just add those two numbers then? Like, because to watch it on Top Rank or on ESPN, you had to buy it still.
Yeah.
So I don't know why those two numbers are.
Well, I mean, but also it wasn't just ESPN Plus who were streaming. They also had like, was it the Sky Sports over there in the UK? There's other newscasters or sportscasters.
Long story short, this is probably fraud, but it was just funny to see. It was funny to see all the rumors, man.
We gotta state that this is also I'm getting this information from Happy Punch, so this might not be 100% accurate, but
no, a lot of people were posting it though.
I'm posting it
yeah,
too? Okay.
It's not just them. A decent amount. Like I saw this number circulating around a little bit.
I saw this too from other people and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just want to state that this is from Happy Punch. This is from Keemstar himself.
You know Keemstar, man. That boy is, you can never know what if he's telling the truth or not.
Hey, so I guess Jake Paul is the king of pay-per-views then.
Dude, I guess so. Dylan Dennis, the KSI, 1.3 M's. That's what they sold allegedly.
They are the kings, bro. They are the kings.
I guess boxing is dead, dude. Because if that's true, boxing might be dead, man. 11,000 is atrocious, bro.
That means all the YouTubers are YouTuber boxing.
YouTuber boxing is the new thing now.
It's a new
They're
thing now.
saving
Yeah,
boxing.
they're
Yeah.
saving boxing.
Boxing is evolving, and in 10 years, it's just going to be all influencers.
This is funny. I was talking to Paulo a week or two ago. I was telling him that possibly in 10 years from now, these up and coming prospects or contenders or whatever, or possibly even champions, when they are interviewed and asked, you know, what made you want to become a boxer? They might say, I used to watch Jake Paul.
Yeah,
I
bro.
used to want to be Jake Paul.
You know, Jake Paul told me that I could be whatever I wanted in this world, and I believed him, and he did it. You know what I'm saying?
Became a world champion.
Became a world champion because of Jake Paul.
Yeah, or people in the UK, KSI, I used to look up to KSI when, he won against Tommy Fury. They robbed them, stuff like that. We might be hearing that in 10 years.
He's gonna be like, you know, KSI was so inspirational because he was a nerd gamer, and then he transformed himself into a boxing superstar, and I was a nerd gamer, and then now I'm a world champion. Look at me now. Goodness. This is crazy.
I can see that happening too. That's the sad part.
Probably, honestly. But, yeah, I don't believe these rumors, you know?
Yeah, I don't believe them, but if you had to kind of like figure out, like, what do you guys think is the pay-per-view buys
If you had a
then?
ballpark?
Ballpark.
I'd say, okay, let's take this into let's be professionals about this. Okay, we had a lot of we had a lot of promotions. Okay,
It's tremendous.
they really put a big budget on promotions. You know, every week I was getting an ad about Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. They even had Ronaldo in one ad, didn't they? I could have sworn they got like a big name on one of the ads. I'm
could have, maybe.
I'm positive they did, because everyone was applauding the promotion. It was fantastic promotion. Boom, we got two big names. It's not just Tyson Fury, it's also Francis Ngannou, who is a very big name in the MMA community, especially coupled with the fact that, you know, he was beefing with Dana White, and Dana White was shitting on him, saying, oh, Francis Ngannou thinks he's worth this much. He isn't going to get any big fights outside of the UFC. His career is done. Boom, it turns out he got the heavyweight champion of the world to fight him. So, two big audiences, okay? Not boxing, also MMA. Boom, you combine those, and you combine the fact that they got a lot of fighters in Saudi Arabia, like
You know, like we were just saying, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kanye West, these stuff were going like viral on X.
Yes.
You know, because everyone was talking about this fight.
And not only that, but he also had Mike Tyson training him as well. That's another layer of promotional for the fight
Material,
as well.
yeah.
Material as well, yeah.
Yeah, like I think minimum, I would say internationally, like 500K minimum.
I would say minimum too. That
Yeah,
seems
minimum.
like actually I would say like 750.
750.
Yeah, 750.
I'd say what I'd ballpark is 800 to $1 million they sold.
Okay.
You know, that's what I'd say. And then the low park, 500K. Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe maybe not a lot of people actually really wanted to watch it.
How much? How was it expensive? I don't
me
even
see.
remember.
because I mean it's on ESPN. That's a very
I think it was like $80.
$80. That is pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was a mil. I think ballpark would be 500.
500.
Yeah.
How much? Well, I mean, we don't even know these figures, but it'd be interesting to see how much Tyson Fury sold when he fought.
$80 for the pay-per-view.
$80. Wow, that is
That's
pretty
expensive. Yeah.
That is pretty expensive, but it'd be interesting to see how much Tyson Fury sold when he fought his last fight against Chisora. You know,
I probably sold nothing, man. That was the trilogy no one wanted to see.
no one wanted to see, but I mean, he's a big name in the UK. Maybe he got something.
You know what? Maybe we're looking at this a little bit too critical, but we were also thinking that Fury was just gonna wipe the floor with Ngannou. Maybe that was the perception as well. Maybe everyone just wrote this off. They're like, yeah, they're both gonna get her bag, but Fury's just gonna come out on top. Why am I gonna pay $80 to see something that I already know the outcome of it?
Maybe the illegal streams were at an all-time high. Maybe it could be, yeah, because that is very expensive. I'm gonna be honest.
Very
$80 for a fight at that caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
I think there's two winners out of this whole event. One was the people who got flown out, to enjoy the event. They spent a whole week probably living in luxury, getting treated to the utmost respect, getting, food, getting to enjoy the venue, the event overall. They probably had the blast, a great experience for them. The second winner was Ngannou, man. This man came from nothing, he really poor country, worked himself up, and then finally was able to get himself a huge bag doing boxing, not UFC. So overall, the two winners were the people who got flown out and Francis Ngannou.
Hey, props to them, man. Yeah, you already know they were living in luxury, and Ngannou is going to be living in luxury after that check hits his account.
Yeah, definitely. If it hasn't already.
If it hasn't already, yeah.
And plus, did you see there might be talks for him to come back as well?
Definitely, dude.
Yeah, since Fury isn't gonna fight Alexander Usyk anymore in December, it looks like that spot is now available. Let's say on paper, so it's possible that there's rumors, nothing's confirmed, that he might fight. No, that he might fight. That he just might fight. I saw Chisora put his name on there saying that he wants to fight Ngannou.
Just retire already, Chisora. We're done with you, man.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll just see how that plays out. I'm really interested to see what the actual numbers are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until an actual credible source comes out with some real figures, because that's a little too hard for me to believe. That flop is astronomical.
Yeah. So I think we got everything right for today's episode. So, all right. Yeah. Let us know down in the comment section if you guys actually believe those pay-per-view numbers.
Is boxing dying?
Is influencer boxing the way to go, man? Let us know also about your thoughts about the 130 pound division, for who the best champions are, what fights are there to be made in that weight division. And also for the 135, is Raymond Muratalla ready for a title fight? Let us know down below in the comment section. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. We're on X, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe. And we also have a Discord, so join there too. And we expect to see you guys here next week. So it was your boy Pablo,
Rudo,
Asael,
and this was the Last Round podcast. Thank you.